beautiful day. I got a Yoshi in the garage. The O'Donnelly Racing AR exhaust is on. I want to do a couple of runs for you guys. We'll do a sound comparison, so I wanted to do this first. I'll go ahead and start it up and rip it by a couple times. There it was, boys. The next video you'll see will be of the Yoshi. Maybe I'll do an unboxing too. But there's all this little beaner is. Up for sale, folks. Real good price. I'll basically give it away. Might keep it. You know what? It's good for wall art, if anything. Just sweet looking little exhaust. You know, hook a little something on there, yeah. For now, it's going on the wall. But that's off. So, one other thing, I was doing some research. I had a hard time getting it to 20 pounds of torque is what it requires on here. And I'm thinking, with a little bit of messing around that I did, I think my studs are a little out of alignment. There's like a 1 millimeter variance they want these to be. I can't remember what it is. I got to go look it up in the book. I'll let you guys know. And then you got to do the double nut lockings thing where you can then get in there and tighten them. And these are supposed to be at 8 pounds. Then when you put the yoke on in the actual flange, that's going to go 20 pounds. And I had a torque wrench, and I tell you, I was giving it hell, and I was a little worried it wasn't clicking, and I didn't want to stress anything. So I don't think I ever got it up to 20 pounds when I had the AR on it. But I want to do it totally right. I did buy a gasket too. You don't need the gaskets. Some guys say, you know, just use the other one. You get 5 or 6 times out of it before it starts leaking. But you go out and spend a lot of money on exhaust, and it's like a $4 part to go buy an exhaust manifold. You know, the gasket that goes in there. I think that's just plain nutty not to spend that little bit more money. And I have to do a disassemble again. I've heard some people tell me it's a little bit of a rump pumper to get that thing out of there. It should just kind of fall out. It's only got 350 miles on it, so it shouldn't be cemented in yet. But I don't have a gasket puller tool. So, you know, the Yoshis come with a spring hook, and I'm thinking that spring hook might be the perfect tool for it too. So I'm going to be doing an opening on that. Let you guys see how the Yoshi looks in the box. I'll bring it over right now so you can see way better packaged. There it is. For some of you enthusiasts out there, Mr. Yoshimura is still alive. I believe he is. He's an old man now. He's in Japan, but these are all a research and development division that's right here in the United States in California, and these are all handmade in California. You know, well, there's machines that do some of the work, you know, but they roll them, the dies that roll the metal and the carbon fiber and everything. But there's human intervention in there, and it's all Americans doing it. So that's pretty cool. It'll probably be the only thing on the bike made in the United States that I got on there so far. The mirrors are from China. That mount, actually, for the phone, I believe, is made in the United States. It's a RAM products one, the X-Ram that almost everybody runs. They're by far the best thing. I believe that company is U.S., so I do have a U.S. part on there. Other than that, well, it looks really cool without an exhaust at all, but too bad you'd ruin your valves if you tried to run it without an exhaust. There's a video of a guy that's running his without an exhaust. It sounds like, oof, holy cannoli. Guy's bananas. But, yeah, I'll let you guys know I'm going to do an opening up here, and we'll go from there. And there it is. Look at that. You even get stickers. Put on your helmet or your lunchbox, whatever you want. I'm not big on stickers. I definitely don't put them on my bike. You know, they're for toolboxes or whatever. People go bananas with the stickers all over their bikes. But I did read, and I did even look it up online, the instructions that they give you are really pretty good. And Yoshimura actually says you don't have to buy an exhaust gasket just, look it over and see if it's okay. But by the time you dig the old one out and then take a look at it, you get nice stickers. The works. It'll tell you it'll get a little golden. Not panic. I like the golden color. I think that's basically what it's going to be. And you do get good instructions. Oh, and the little noise deadener. Boy, it's just a hollow tube. Well, let's see what that does. But that supposedly takes your dBs down a little bit. I might be running that. I don't like being super loud. You never know. Sneaking around. Doing wheelies in church parking lots, you don't want to be making a complete scene. And there it is, worth the price of admission right there. They give you the hook for your springs. Yeah, that's a good deal right there. Oh boy, there's a lot of parts, I don't know what they are. The actual exhaust can, and it is the Mini. If you know anything about Yoshimura, they make all kinds of pipes for serious street bikes. They're kind of a street bike oriented company.
That's mine.
And
that's yours. It's Craftsman.
Oh yeah, everything I got is Craftsman pretty much, or something good. Boy, it looks nice in there. What a difference! It's a little heavier than the AR, but that AR is really like a tin can with a little glass in it.
Yeah.
This thing is a substantial looking unit right here. But that's the beauty, and what's nice too about this is the design of it. It hugs right up underneath that heel rest, that rear set. So,
Way better, huh?
I think so. Well, we'll find out.
Wow, good looking.
Hey guys, I'm back. I had to go over to my brother's real quick. I could not find the right hex wrench for that. It's a 3mm, in case you guys want to know. And I'm telling you what, that was a rump humper to get in. This baffle has to be perfectly aligned. And I don't even think we got it totally right, but I'll tell you what, it says to use Loctite. There's no way that bolt's coming out. It might be slightly cross-threaded. We pumped it in there. I'm running it with the baffle. It is straight through. I mean, I don't know what it does. I can't even believe it could do any sound deadening at all. But apparently the angle and the fact that air along the sides has to come back a little bit must be what does it. But, well, that's done. Baffle's in. The other little bit of a rump humper on this deal was I decided to go ahead with the gasket and change that. And I'm telling you what, the guy at the dealership said, "Oh, it'll fall right out, don't worry about it." No way that guy was in there. This thing has 350 something miles on it. That sucker was in there. We took one of these little Craftsman screwdrivers and just tapped it a little bit with a hammer and got behind it and worked it and finally popped it out. It was a bitch, and I put the new one up in there. The new one's in, and believe me, I doubt the camera will show it, but people would say you don't need to change these. I'm telling you what, I'm sure the camera won't show it, but right here, there's got to be at least a millimeter of crush in there. This thing has definitely been crushed. And to be honest with you, I've had the AR exhaust on, and I've had it down and moved it. I even had to move it for an oil change that I did about a couple days ago. So, that's definitely going to be a factor. I would get one of these, $4. They're telling you don't need to. Holy cannoli, for $4, I would definitely change that exhaust gasket. I think those guys are nuts. Absolutely nutty. The other one, as I made the determination, the Yoshimura, they did change the print on here to 2017, 2018, but this is a picture of a 2014-15. And I don't know if you guys can see that, but the exhaust header runs underneath the expansion pipe going to the can. And I like that, because I like the way if you were ever to hit something, it would smooth off, or the chances you wouldn't rip your, your head or your exhaust manifold. And it even shows it here going above. But this page, which has got to be the new page they printed in precisely for the 2017s, 18s, does specifically show that piece going underneath. So when it goes underneath, and it's the only way it could go because the springs won't line up if not, so that piece will be kind of down where it could catch something, and if you jump in curbs or whatever, it could be a little bit catastrophic. So far, those are the only little bitty issues I've run into that have been a little bit of a rump humper. Overall, the rest of it I think is going to go like a piece of cake. The parts are real simple. One other thing I did too was in the service manual, it talks about the stud length. And I really did feel that my studs moved a little bit when I was torquing and changing the AR exhaust and taking the old one off. So what I did was I cut a little piece of ground wire, real stiff ground wire, and 27.5 millimeters is the length that your studs should exactly be. And the reason that's important is they said it's a 1 millimeter plus or minus. You know, 1 millimeter is like, you can barely see it with my old eyes. It's really close. It's a tight tolerance. So I wanted to make sure these studs. And instead of trying to take your caliper and fit it under there and the odd shapes and sizes, I just said, you know what, I'm going to get this thing exact. And I did. I got this thing exactly to 27.5 millimeters. So I mean, and I checked my studs. I didn't have to move them, thank God. I didn't have the right bolts. You need 8 millimeter by 125 bolts, and you take 2 of them and then lock the one together. You make a clinch to them, and then you can adjust and go up to your 8 pounds. The owner's manual says make sure they're at 8 pounds of torque. But if the distance is more important than the torque, I don't understand that. How do you torque them and have it be the right distance? It's when you get to the right distance in the stud. It confused me. Mr. Honda will have to explain that to me someday if I ever meet the guy, but I'm sure he's not around anymore. But other than that, things have been going pretty smooth. I'm not going to waste a lot of time or do a fast motion of me actually connecting everything together. I think that'd be a waste of time. There's a lot of videos on that. From here, it's really easy. These Yoshis are designed to meet right up with everything. It's not a lot of tweaking and everything like the AR was. It had a strap, which guys bitched about how hard that AR was to put on. Dude, you leave the strap loose till you figure out where you want it, just crank the strap down, boom, it's right there. Put your tools away if you can't get those ARs on. And I got rid of the AR. It's sitting right over there now. It's for sale. I didn't get rid of it because it wasn't a good exhaust. For $129 and really quick shipping, I will never mock anyone for buying one. They're definitely a really good deal. I'm just a knucklehead, and I had some money I ran into with my selling a canoe, so I did that. But let me pause it here. I'm going to go ahead and get kind of the mounting going because I'm not going to waste your time with that. And then I'll show you. I run into any more troubles, any kind of little weirdness, I'll tell you guys about it, and we'll go from there. Hey, good morning. Yeah, last night I got it all assembled, and I had my torque wrench set to 20 pounds, what the recommended is for Honda, and I just didn't feel good, so you know what, I was getting late. I said, you know what, I'm going to have a beer and go to bed. So I came out this morning, and sure enough, boy, I'll tell you, I'm glad I had a torque wrench, because I tested it on other things, because I thought maybe it was not working, but 20 pounds is a pretty good amount of pressure. But that's aluminum heads, I do with steel bolts and those studs. I was nervous, but it clicked. I got it, so I'm not messing with it again. I was going to let you guys know about any little issues. I'll tell you, if you don't have an extender to get that bolt, it goes in a million threads, and it's tight. It almost feels like you're cross-threading it, but I checked it a dozen times, and it wasn't. It just goes in really tight. I had a ratcheting box end 1/2 inch, which happens to be almost 12 millimeter, which this entire exhaust is all 12 millimeter. So I was able to work it in, and then when I did the final snugging, I got on this. I can't remember if it's TST or Hard Racing said to go ahead and set everything to 20 pounds, but I'll tell you what, I was putting 20, it didn't click, and I wasn't going to do any more than that. I wouldn't advise 20 pounds on that. It's not going to go. Especially this thing, that's a plastic bushing. I wouldn't put 20 pounds on that. That's my final snugging. So yeah, no issues. I almost forgot to put the springs on before I tightened everything up. So I kind of loosened it up. I really think you want those springs on just to triangulate everything. And then jiggle it a little too. Make sure everything's lined up and really keep an eye on that. That sucker should be just flush. If you see any crookedness or a difference in the stud angles where one piece of the flange is lower than the other, you ain't got it right. Don't loosen it all back up and get it right. You'll be hating yourself on that. Sure. I'll tell you what, SAE tools, throw them away, man. I hardly ever use them anymore. I got millions of them. I gotta fish around for metric. I'm not buying another thing that's not metric. Alright, guys. Now it does, that original rubbery thing that's inside this mount port is still in there, and I think that's enough of a gush. Once you put a good pressure on it, I don't think you need Loctite or anything, but there are guys that subscribe to Loctite every freaking thing on these bikes. But I'm going to do a recheck at like 50 miles like it says, and I don't think I'll have any trouble. I'm going to try to set the camera up like I did when I had the AR on and do a real good comparison of the sound. We'll do a startup. Yeah, I'll do that right now for you guys. I think I'm good. The owner's manual says 7,500 miles before you open the case and do the spinner cover. Everybody says they do them at like between 6,000 and 1,000 miles and get goop out of there. The main mechanic at the dealership I work with, he says, don't worry about that. There's always goop in there. He says, those work fine. Just listen to what Honda says. But it'd be way more convenient just to dump oil for the first 7,500 miles. But I don't know. Anyone got any comments on that? Throw it in, man. I'm confused on that one. It doesn't look like an earth-shattering thing to do anyway. I may just do it. But one other thing I wanted to comment is Yoshi did say that there was no issue changing your oil with this pipe. And I tell you what, they freaking lied. I don't know how you'll get a torque wrench on that, and I like torquing things to spec. You're probably going to have to drive it up over and use a really skinny extender. And even that, it looks like some of the oil will hit the pipe. Now, I do have it on the stand, it's leaning up, maybe that's the factor. If I bring it back, that oil won't hit that pipe, and I'll be pissed off if it does. That was one of the things I always check that, because after that AR, you can do an oil change without taking the exhaust off, but you can't get a torque wrench on there. You're only going to be using box ends, and I like torquing things to spec. So, that's one of the things. I'll keep you guys updated on that. So, other than that, it looks like sweet. Alright guys, first startup, but I'd like to say it's ice cold, but it's got to be close to 90 degrees. It's only about noon. It's going to be a hot one. If you guys know anything about Western New York, it goes right from winter to summer around here. Hard riding, you either ride cold or you ride hot. Very few really good days. But let's see, we'll boot up the diagnostics here. You know, I was going to do a reset on the fuel delivery system. They say they reset themselves really well without doing that, so I have no codes, so I'm going to go for that. Yeah, she stepped right down. Haven't revved it yet. It's pretty warm out. God, the engine's probably at running temperature right now, just being 90 out here. Alright, I'll set the camera up like I did yesterday when I had the AR still on it, and I'll try to do a couple runs, get a sound comparison change, and then when I do the video I'll try to get them together and, you know, make it kind of cool where you go back and forth and really catch it. So, see you in a bit. All right, boys and girls. Yeah, it's I don't know about top end or low end. Yes, grunt, and it seems to have more power all through the curve. Like if you're at second gear and you're going around a corner where you could almost be in first, there's no boggle or engine joggle. It just yeah, it seems like the low end is there. I like it, and we'll do the sound comparison. sounds really good on it. Quick note on that too, is it's quiet when you reduce the throttle. It just kind of cruise along. The AR was always noisy. And it seems like if you're putting along and then when you get into it, the thing, you get some drop. So yeah, cool. We'll catch you next time. It's cruise night tonight, so I maybe do another video. I don't know, bore you guys with that crap. 300 bikes show up, about 300 cars. They got food, music. Pretty good deal. Rochester, New York. Peace.